to...
Okay, we're going to start on model trimming for study models. You guys already poured up your models. So this is what you're going to have first. And before you can start aligning them, you might have to remove some of this excess stuff in the back because you can't line them up very well because you have this excess material. So then you want to get your lab knife and remove some of this excess in the back just so that you can line them up, the occlusion. Kind of use it like a potato peeler. So then you want to get your wax bite that you should have taken when your patient was. Let's see how I put this on here. That's part of the puzzle. Have it the other way. How did the patient's bite line up? So you should be able to line them back up. So I got rid of all the excess, now it lines up. So we're going to put that aside for a second. I'm going to show you, this is how we're going to trim it. Now if you look at the maxillary, this is a maxillary, how many points it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll be able to tell the difference between a maxillary and a mandibular by how many points. The mandibular has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a difference in the anterior region. It's rounded on the maxilla, it's pointed in the maxilla and it's rounded on the mandible. And when you're doing study models, you want to have a base. That's why we did a base. So this will be posted for you in the D2L so that you have this paper too. But you need to know how many points there are and the difference between the maxilla and the mandible. Okay, so we have this, then we go into soaking them. They have to be soaked in water for a few minutes. I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes. So I already have this set soaking. So we're going to put this one aside. I'm going to break it too while we're going. So these have been soaking for a few minutes. That helps with the trimming. So I'm going to take them out. Oh, there's that funny void I had. The first thing we're going to do is work on the posterior. So I'm going to put it here on my thing. We're going to work on the posterior first. So we're going to line them up together. If you don't have a bite registration, you can just line them up. If you have a bite registration, you put the bite registration in. Also, let's look at the model trimmer. It has the sandpaper disc. It has an on and off switch for the water. This turns the water on. And then there's another valve here that controls the water control to the actual machine. The water needs to be on anytime you use it. Then it has this on and off switch to the actual wheel. So we turn the water on and then we turn the wheel on. It's very loud, so I'm not going to turn it on until right before I actually start to use it. It has some guidelines here for you too. So when we're going to do the first cut, we're going to put these together. If you have a midline here, we're going to line up the midline guide with the midline. So we're going to line it up. Now I'm going to turn it down so you can see what we do. So we line them up together. We're going to do the back first. Turn it on very loudly. We're going to keep a finger or two on top and keep them together. Now we're going to push them back, keeping them guide, midline with the guide, and push them back directly. And if you look, it starts grinding it away. Now either if you come on over here, here's where the water comes out from the grinder. And as I grind, I'm going to catch some of this water. There's actually not much stone in that one. But as I grind more, just turning off for a second so you can see it. This is called slurry water. If you need to pour up impressions and you need them to set up quickly, you can use a slurry water. This is what slurry water is. Okay. So that's always good to use to pour up impressions when you need to have them set up much quicker. So we're going to continue with the trimming. Put them together. Both sides. I'm fulcruming against the bottom so that I have some leverage, and I push. In the midline on the guide. You want to get to probably as far back as here, about half an inch or quarter inch from the most posterior tube. There's a lot more slurry water coming out now. I'm just going to check how far back. I'm pretty close there. You know when you have it right, when you sit these up and they stay together. Okay. So we do the back together. Now we're going to separate them. We're going to do just the lower is always first now. We're going to do the sides. So we're going to do one side first. So if you look here, I'm going to do a mark at about quarter inch from the molar and then quarter inch out from the canine. So here and here. So I'm going to grind this all the way back to there. So I'm going to lay this here. This is going to be parallel with the grinder. Parallel to the grinder, and we're going to make the grinding wheel touch the two pencil marks at the exact same time. Hold on a second. I'm drawing a blank. Pause it for a second.